My socks are damn near the same color as my jack stands. What's up, guys? It's Kai with TK Speed Shop, and I need your help. I have been under the weather, so we're not working on anything today, but I need you guys to comment down below because we got to come up with a game plan with this 72 D100. Let's do a recap or a catch up. If you haven't been following this video, this is my 72 D100. It used to be a long wheelbase. Now it identifies as a no wheelbase because there's no frame up underneath it. So we're getting ready to do a short wheelbase frame swap on this truck. And we bought like a 91, 92 D150 and completely stripped it. And yeah. So we got a lot of good parts out of that. We got these fancy fenders wells that I coated and Raptor bed liner, scratchy. I completely stripped this firewall and I painted it in hot rod black and shot it with some matte clear. GoPro doing GoPro things. Anywho, like I was saying, we stripped the firewall, painted it, we undercoat it because why not? We're already there. But we need to talk about what are we gonna do? I got 3 things that I want to take care of and I need you guys' help. So comment down below. Let's start with issue number 1. Issue number 1. This is a 318. Now, disclaimer, I am not a Chrysler Mopar guy. This is the very first LA block that I've ever fooled with as far as like, you know, camshaft and this, that, the other. I'm not knowledgeable on these things. So I had to do a lot of research on the forums to figure out what's what. So this is a 74 318 block. You can tell that it's a 74 because of the way that it is. I kid. But no, all else seriously aside, I don't know jack squat. All I know is we had a stock 318 in that originally. We came across this 318 for $100. And we took this 318, we put a very small Lunati Grand camshaft in it. It was Voodoo. I think the part number was like 701. All I know is I didn't have to do no modifications to the heads or nothing. But I digress. We put that camshaft in it. We put that Edelbrock intake on it. And we slapped it back in there. And to be honest with you guys, it was kind of a dog. So we need to remedy that. This is also a 318. This one came out of our 91, 92 donor truck. It is a roller LA block. And apparently it has 302 heads on it. Now, I didn't know what 302 heads was until like 3 days ago. I did a little bit of research, found out those heads are pretty cool. They're closed chambered. After doing more research, they're kind of like the late 60 heads they had on the 273s, 318s. Anywho, those 318s from back then had like a 9:2:1 compression. That 318 has like a negative compression. And the reason why I say negative is when I put that motor back together, I put a particular set of Felpro head gaskets on it, and like the quench was like 58. So factory ratings, and they're scared by the way, because they say these things range anywhere between 8 to 8:5:1. I'm pretty sure this is now like a 7 to 9. It gotta be lower than what it was factory rated. Cause when I say it's a dog, even with that camshaft, it's a dog. But I found out that those 302 heads can go right onto that. The only thing we would have to do is like drill and tap the little ports up underneath the exhaust. Anyway, what I'm thinking is we can take those 302 heads. We can take these Mr. Gaskets, head gaskets that I found that are like 0.028 thousandths, and put them on that. So with that head, I believe that's a 58 chambered CC head. And this one's like a 60 something, maybe a 70 something. I didn't do much research on this head. But I think we can get this 9-to-1. And I'll be completely happy with that, or anything's better than what that is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like if we take those 302 heads, we slap them on that, and then I bought this Yin Yang Stepper air gap intake off the Amazon, and we're gonna see what the news is about that. We can make a pretty peppy 318 for this. Now, here's where you guys come in at. Is that a good idea? Now, before you tell me to just build that one, this goes into part of my plan. I can take that one and marry those heads to it, and I can ride around on that one for the time being. And in the background, or in the future, and when I say future, I mean distant future, because guys, to be honest, and stuff you can't even see, I got enough projects going on. So let's say a year or two from now, we take this one and we completely strip it and we do a stroker out of it, because why not? Plus, I could, my funds won't be stretched to like 6-7 different project vehicles, and hopefully by that time we got more stuff going on and I can divide my money a little bit more accordingly. But I want you guys, I want y'all's opinion, man, because like I've looked at aftermarket heads, I've looked at camshafts and all other sorts of things, and I feel like the best thing that I can do for this 318 is put those 302 heads on it with the better head gasket, throw a set of headers on it, and just let it live. And we give it a Facebook rebuild by spray painting it. But comment down below. That's one of the things that we need to tackle before we get this situated. Let's move on to number 2. It feels pretty good out here today. Again, too many projects, I know. This is the second thing that we need to tackle. So guys, I want to go ahead and do some suspension mods to this frame while everything is open. I'm thinking we get ourselves some van control arms and we take a coil out the spring and we do an axle flip on the rear, because I want this thing lowered down. Now, in the meantime, do we fool with any of this stuff? Like, all this stuff is good, don't get me wrong, but do we go ahead and just throw some more stuff on it while we're here? We have that in the budget for this. I can order us a suspension kit and we can go ahead and just redo the front of it just to have a peace of mind. Now, the reason why I bring this up is I won't be the only one driving this. My old lady will also be driving this. Now, if it was just me, I'll risk it for the biscuit. You see what I'm saying? But I can't sign off on that if she wants to drive it, and I just, at the end of the day, guys, I can put myself in an unsafe situation, but I can't put her in an unsafe situation, or my son in an unsafe situation. So we got to figure that stuff out. So comment down below stuff that you would like to see. I was watching this one guy's short, and he was showing us something about how this is an upgrade because my earlier frame didn't have this, but it's still an issue because, well, this was not doing it, but his did it where there was slack inside of here, and he said the cure for that was welding it. So I figured we might as well do that too and just zip zap that while we got it apart. But we need to figure out. And I also been doing some research because, again, I'm new to all this stuff on these Mopars. I found out that I got a one-legged rear end, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the 8 1/4 rear end that's in this. I don't even know what kind of gears it got in it. I haven't checked that out, but I do know that I had the 8 3/4 rear end in my long wheelbase, and I know they swap over. So do we just swap that one over? Now, that's gonna cause weird ass complications because my bolt pattern has changed. Right now, I don't know if you can see the spacer from there, but I got these adapted with a spacer right now. Shout out Lugnut guys for the spacer. That was pretty cool. I used Pole Barn Garage's code and got these spacers, and they're pretty cool. But the bolt pattern on this is, you know, the Dodge 5 to 5.5, and if I swap that rear end into that, then I'll have 5 to 5.5 up front, and then I have 5 and 4.5 in the rear, and that's just kind of weird to me. I've seen guys take 8.8 rear ends out of Explorers, like the 90s Explorers that already got disc on it, and they already got what is it, what do Ford call it, limited slip. They are both wheels spin, and they already got 373 or 410 gears in it. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's also something I'm considering. If you know a better alternative, or you'll be like, hey, just leave the shit alone, drop it down there, let me know, because sometimes I start looking, and yeah. Now let's talk about part number 3, the abomination. And I don't even gotta change camera zones for this one. So, if you've been on this channel for a while, you would know maybe a year and a half ago I bought a 76 C10. And that was probably the worst $300 I've ever spent in my life, because that truck featured on this channel once and never again. I don't even think I got the video on this channel anymore, but it was terrible. Terrible. But the good news was the bed. The bed's worth way more than that truck will ever be worth. And right now I got that Chevy step-side bed on this Dodge frame. Now I gotta build some mounts and stuff, but right now the way that I got it mounted and set up, we dropped that Dodge on here, I think it'd be pretty cool, because I know I could go find a Dodge step side, but I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Dodge step side beds are fucking ugly. I don't know if it's the really long step or what, but those are some ugly beds. And the only reason why I threw this on here is because this bed's kind of bubbly in a way, which kind of like is closer to the body style of that 70 truck than that bed was. Now I could put that bed back on there, but the body lines are not gonna make sense. Not saying that the body lines are gonna make sense on that bed, but why not? You know, So let me guys know if you want to see how this is all going to come together, because again, right now I got it set up, it's just mocked up, it's not 100% a bolt in. I'll have to make some brackets, and we still don't have the exact position how it's gonna sit. But once we get the cab back on, I can play with the height of this, and it'll probably come together a lot better. So I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in or not, but you know, the truck's already a Frankenstein. And Charlie, if you watching this, look, you told me not to put an LS in the truck. The least I can do is try to make a Chevrolet step-side bed fit on it. Hey, at least the bed's from a 70s era Chevrolet, so it's not like I'm de-airing it by any means necessary. But we got to figure all this stuff out. We got to figure out how we're gonna mount our core support that's damn near about to fall apart, because I might build some brackets that come out here. I'm not 100% sure, or we might get this lined up as good as possible and try to adapt something with them holes in the frame. I don't know, we ain't figured that out yet, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update of what's really been going on with this build. And again, I'm under the weather a little bit, so I ain't really been working on much. So, but please comment down below, guys. What do you want to see? What do you want to do? What you think would be a good idea? Let's brainstorm. Or you can just tell me to go shove it. Regardless, I really appreciate it. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm about to go take some medicine. I'm about to go lay down, and I'll see you in the next video. You can't tell me this don't look good, man. Like, look at that step side. Like, if it wasn't so damn high.